Welcome to Car and Driver. I'm Eric Stafford, and we're here checking out the new 2026 Honda Passport. And this is the off-road oriented TrailSport model. The original Honda Passport from the early 1990s was the brand's first sport utility vehicle, and it helped Honda break into the lucrative SUV market. After a nearly 2-decade hiatus, the Passport name returned for its third generation for the 2019 model year. And while it was a respectable two-row midsize SUV, it didn't really stand out in a crowded and highly competitive segment. However, that looks to change with the new fourth generation, as Honda has brought boxy back and boosted the Passport's off-road cred with a more rugged TrailSport model. So what is a TrailSport? Well, TrailSport is what Honda calls its most off-road focused models, and the TrailSport treatment first appeared on the 2022 Honda Passport, but that initial version was a little bit more show than go. Honda fixed that on following TrailSport models by adding actual all-terrain tires and tweaking the suspension. But it set the stage for the new Passport, which was designed with the TrailSport in mind from the very beginning. Like Ford's hardcore Raptors, the TrailSport has these amber daytime running lights, and it also has these sturdy orange front recovery hooks to help it get unstuck. Now, every TrailSport has a higher ride height than its previous generation, and the suspension has also been tweaked so that it has better articulation for climbing over rocks. Every Passport has 8.3 inches of ground clearance, but only the TrailSport models get these 31-inch tall General Grabber all-terrain tires. Now, this model here is also equipped with the HPD package, which, along with the fender badges and a hood decal, comes with hidden rock sliders that are tucked up under the rocker panels to help prevent damage. Now, it's about 2.5 inches longer and about an inch wider and taller than its predecessor. And those bigger dimensions mean it's encroaching on the even larger Honda Pilot, which is the only way to go for those who need a third row. Now, along with the bigger dimensions overall, the Passport's wheelbase has been stretched by 2.7 inches, and this helps with interior space as well as improving its ride quality. One of the TrailSport's neat new design features is this backpack design, which is no JanSport, but basically it helps protect the paint if you lean tall objects up against it. And speaking of protection, the TrailSport models also have these unique 18-inch wheels where the valve stem is sunken into the rim so that way it doesn't get broken off on a rock or another object.
So those are some of the key styling differences. Next up, let's get dirty. Honda created a makeshift off-road course for us to test out the TrailSport's toughness.
So when Honda redesigned the Passport, they also shortened the front overhang, which helped improve its approach angle, which is basically the amount of clearance you have ahead of the front wheels. Now on the TrailSport models, they also have a unique rear bumper that helps improve the departure angle, which is the exact opposite of the approach angle. And as part of that, they also tucked up the back of the exhaust system to help prevent it from getting bent on a rock or something like that, an obstacle that might be sticking up when you're climbing around. So they've got us climbing over different rocks and obstacles here, and I mean, really, we haven't had any issues of clearance where the wheels are smashing into the fenders or anything like that. It's all really well controlled, and you can feel the flex when you're really at, close to a 45-degree angle. You feel a lot of control, and the vehicle doesn't seem like it's anywhere near its limits. I think what's worth remembering when you see brands, who doesn't have an off-road oriented compact or mid-size SUV? Everyone's got one. And I think for people who are into hardcore off-roading, you have certain expectations of locking differentials, bead-lock capable wheels. Like, you're not going to get that on the TrailSport models, but what you are going to get is a vehicle with all-terrain tires, skid plates, a slight lift. It's going to help you actually enjoy some of the more moderate trails. And I think that's something people don't realize is how many ORV trails around the country are available that aren't, Moab or the Rubicon or something. They are approachable for people. And what I like about the TrailSport models is they have the equipment, like I mentioned, as well as these, the Trail View camera where it actually shows the direction of your front tires, and you don't need a spotter, And I just think it makes it more approachable for people who, maybe have that itch to go explore the outdoors, but, they feel a little bit intimidated by rock crawling and, needing something that needs a winch, which, these vehicles aren't built to do that. They're not necessarily soft roaders, but they're pretty capable. It's impressive, some of the things that they're able to do. So the Passport's new interior might not win any design awards, but it definitely deserves applause for maintaining the practicality of physical buttons and knobs, as well as just opening up the center console. You've got a spot for a wireless charger, you've got this cubby space in front of the front passenger, and you can fit 32-ounce cups in these two cup holders here. The center console is also big enough to fit a tablet. And there's no shortage of tech features. You get a standard 12.3-inch touchscreen here, and that includes Google built-in with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which are both wireless, and every model also has a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster. The regular TrailSport gets this attractive fabric piece on the dash, and that material also extends to the seats, which have this synthetic leather material that Honda says is easier to clean. And the TrailSport models also are identified by these orange accents that helps it stand out. So earlier we mentioned the Passport's stretched wheelbase, and that contributes to an extra 1.3 inches of rear seat legroom. And I'm about 5'9", 6'1" on Tinder, but you can tell that there's a lot of room back here, and I can confirm that. So every Passport still features a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6, but Honda switched it from a single overhead cam setup to a dual overhead one. And it also has 285 horsepower, which is slightly more than before. Now, a lot of mid-size SUVs are switching over to turbo 4 cylinders, but Honda is stuck with the V6. And while some people might not care about how an engine sounds, for those of us that do, it's definitely much better to hear the song of a V6 than a turbo 4. So the TrailSport model that we're driving here has chunkier all-terrain tires. And on the roads we've been driving on, we haven't noticed much tire noise, which is a good thing. Now this is just the regular TrailSport model, but if you upgrade to the Elite, you get laminated side windows, which should also help reduce interior noise. Now you obviously get a lot more features with the Elite. You get ventilated front seats, you get real leather, and you get the Trail Watch camera system that we tested off-road. Unfortunately, with the regular TrailSport model, you don't get that 4-view camera system. And it's kind of a bummer because not only is it helpful when you're trying to navigate, tight obstacles on the trail, but when you're in a parking lot or trying to pull up to a curb, it would just be nice to have that feature. And currently, Honda doesn't offer that as a standalone option, but hopefully in the future it will. So the new Passport is currently on sale, and the standard RTL model starts just over $4,600. Now if you upgrade to the TrailSport model, that one's just under $50,000 at $49,900. And if you take it one step further to the top of the line Elite trim, that price starts just under $55,000. And we think that's a pretty good deal for what you get with a 2-row mid-size SUV with a boatload of features, a ton of standard safety tech, and obviously a ton of off-road capability. But we really like Honda's execution with the new TrailSport and the Passport in general. It's a really good value, you get a ton of features, and honestly, when it comes down to driving dynamics, it's just satisfying. It's not something that you're gonna get excited to climb into, but you're also not gonna come away feeling like it would let you down. And if you wanna learn more about it, you can read our review. Until next time, I'm Eric Stafford, and I'll catch you later.